Excellent. Good morning, everyone. It is a good morning in a room full of people committed to bridging the barriers and supporting, growing, and celebrating women in trucking. I'm Andrea Boddy, and I'm honored to be your MC today.
Cars built for me, no clothing stores, no beds, nothing is done with my disability.
35 years. So when I first started at this, it was all about muscle. Who could lift this? Who could do that? And then came along a little bit of technology. And all of a sudden, as a young person who maybe didn't, achieve the best grades at Queen's, I had 3 jobs, by the way. Then along came technology, and it was clear. It was like, wow, that was a game changer, because it didn't matter what your degree was. It was like, okay, who could learn the technology and move forward? But then we've moved beyond that. And this is the game changer, why we should all be excited about where we are now. Can't change the past, but we can change now and we can change tomorrow. And that is we've moved to information. So the notion that you need to be strong, you need to be bigger, you need to be smaller, you need to be blue, you need to be green is irrelevant now from my point of view.
Amplifier. So that's, helping voices, ideas being heard. What are some of the challenges that you face? How do you deal with rejection and difficulty to address such matters? Nicole?
Sure, that's a great question. And thank you all for having me. I'm so honored to be part of this panel. So challenges, I've definitely had a few in my career. Started back in a time when, like I mentioned in my bio, there was no women that were drivers around at all. I would walk into a yard filled with men. I was in my mid-20s at that time. It was 1995. So a long time ago, and I really did feel like, oh, I'm just, this little woman, and nobody talked to me, and I was always like trying to like hide and fly under the radar and do my thing in the background, and really quickly realized that underestimated all over the place all of the time. And when I say that I had to be twice as good to be considered as equal, that's reality, and I can see some nodding heads, and that's really how it was back then. And I don't think it's too much different today, unfortunately. I know we've come a long way, but we still have a long ways to go.
When I started, I think I was employee 462. We are 22,000 wide now. There was a time that I was responsible coast to coast in Canada for all solid waste, liquid, and infrastructure. And then as we started growing, that was a little too much to handle. We started breaking down. But our CEO, Patrick DeVigi, didn't stop buying stuff, which I'm sure most of you know. GFL buys anything that moves. So one of our acquisitions, old school mentality guy, old school guys, I showed up a couple times with Kevin and said, okay guys, I want to check the trucks, I want to talk to the employees, I want to see who knows what, I want to see compliance.
But in 2007, they said, we want you to take a standing committee. Which one do you want? I said, vehicle. Everything to do with vehicle has always been my thing. So I take vehicle in 2007. What I did not know in 2007, but I know today, because they came and told me, I walked into that room in 2007, I sat down, and the current vice chair and the secretary both leaned over to me, and they said, we understand you're taking over this committee in the next meeting. I said, that's the plan. And they both looked at me and said, we don't want to be your vice chair, and we don't want to be your secretary. And I went, okay. Don't know why. Again, hurt feelings, won't lie. I was just like, okay, that's great. That's fantastic. So I'm like, now I've got to find a vice chair, a secretary. And what I did not know, all the brake manufacturers, there were 6 of them. You name the brake manufacturer, they used to sit in vehicle committee across the wall. I didn't sit in vehicle committee because my region used to send me to driver traffic all the time because nobody in Region 5 understood hours of service. So they would send me there, which was fine. So I didn't know the players in vehicle. So I sat there, and those guys never came back to another meeting. But I didn't know who they were because I had never met them. So they just didn't come back. About 3 years later, after I was running the committee, because I ran the vehicle committee from 2007 to 2016, about 3 years after they came back and they sat in the back of one of the vehicle committee meetings. And one of them came up to me and said, Carrie, we owe you an apology. And I said, for what? I didn't even know them at this point. And I said, what are you apologizing for? And they said, well, when they appointed you the chairman of the vehicle committee For lack of better words, it was an old boys club. It still is. I mean, I'm telling you, there's like 80 people in the room, and at best, there's maybe 10 females if we're lucky. Maybe. Never been another female on the voting members of the committee yet. And I said, what are you sorry for? And they go, well, we saw them appoint you, and they thought they have no idea what they're doing anymore. This alliance is going to crap, and we left. And then we slowly started to hear things, and so we came back to see for ourselves. And those brake manufacturers are some of the best friends I have, and they will answer me day or night, whatever.
It's a beautiful word. So while you're looking at that, and you can calm your nerves, I'm going to read this beautiful statement that was sent to us by Dave Cox. I am thrilled Laura Muir is receiving the esteemed Mentor of the Year award. Laura's approach to mentorship is nothing short of extraordinary. Her ability to coach and guide transcends boundaries, touching the lives of everyone at Polaris and within our community. She possesses a natural gift for connecting with people, offering guidance with humility to create an atmosphere of trust, growth, and support. Congratulations, Laura, on this well-deserved recognition. Your contributions continue to elevate us all, and we are immensely grateful to have you as part of the Polaris family. Thank you for your incredible leadership and best-in-class approach to everything you do. Dave Cox, President of Polaris Transportation.
To work two full-time jobs, one in the community, in their workplace, and another one at home, caring for the kids, doing all the housework. You know, women are overrepresented in those areas of work, and men are underrepresented in care work, right? So the sexual harassment along the way, the biases that exist in the workplace, lack of opportunities, the barriers that still exist for women to enter certain professional roles and areas of study as well.
The average is between 9 and 12 months to where they are getting their own home. So now applaud for them. Okay? Since 2021, we have funded the post-secondary education programs of 78 survivors. These young people, I'm old, I call them kids sometimes. They're brilliant. The marks they get are brilliant. Okay? Recognize this. Okay? In their innocence, they must bear the burden of our mistakes. We made the mistakes. We let this happen. Okay? But as our hope for the future is in them. Survivorsfund.ca. The website brings you the Seeds of Hope. It's a registered charity.
What's the prevalence of fraud and forged documents in the hiring process?
Are we talking from when I was doing safety and compliance and driver hiring, or are we talking about like now?
All of your worldly experience.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so we'll go back. We'll talk about when I was doing the hiring and safety and compliance and all that. Oh my gosh, the amount of times that I saw people trying to submit a CVOR that they had doctored the date on it, or the date range, or I have seen with online carrier record, where somebody is trying to pass off a level 2, printing off documentation from the online carrier record, where they have gone ahead, they've selected 1 month to show that they have a stellar carrier, like CVOR. Meanwhile, then they change the date before the press print. So.
I mean, yeah, in my own practice, I see it in 2 times. Is usually there's been some sort of casualty and there's a cargo claim, and it's the other guy that's had, some unauthorized driver or who knows what.
That's crazy, right? Absolutely insane. But I was stripped of that very random real world experience. And so many Gen Zs are gonna have different things like this that they endure through the day as well. They're scared. Now, flexibility. 65% of Generation Z said that working from home made them feel more connected to their coworkers. That's crazy. More connected than when we're sitting next to each other and I can touch somebody. More connected, yes. Remember what I said about my fiance? How I actually felt like we were able to get more connected because we started long distance?
Anyone has any questions about WTFC, what we do, the events we have, our No Human Trafficking campaign, please grab one of our business cards on the registration table on your way out and reach out anytime. We're here to answer questions. We'd love to have you a part of our network, and looking forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you, everyone.